Marcus Chen walked carefully through the broken buildings of New Geneva Colony. His boots made small sounds on the broken glass and metal pieces scattered everywhere. The war had been going on for 3 years now. The humans and the aliens called Zephyrians fought over this planet and many others. Marcus was a staff sergeant in the Earth Defense Force. He led a small team of 5 soldiers. Their job today was simple: look around the empty colony and report what they found. The Zephyrians had attacked this place 2 weeks ago. All the human families who lived here had to leave fast. The sky was gray and cloudy. Marcus could smell smoke in the air. Some buildings were still burning from the attack. His team moved slowly down what used to be Main Street. There were abandoned cars everywhere. Some were turned over. Others had big holes from alien weapons. "Sergeant Chen," called Private Rodriguez. "I found something over here." Marcus walked over to see what Rodriguez had found. Behind a damaged store, there was a crashed ship. It was not human-made. The ship was silver and had a strange, curved shape. Marcus had seen ships like this before. It was a Zephyrian transport ship. "Stay back," Marcus told his team. "These ships sometimes have bombs." Marcus walked closer to the crashed ship carefully. The front part was completely destroyed. He could see inside through a big hole in the side. Steam was coming out of broken pipes. Some lights were still flashing red. Then Marcus heard something that made him stop. It was a sound like crying, but it was not human crying. It was different. Marcus looked inside the ship and saw something that shocked him. There was a Zephyrian female lying on the floor. She was badly hurt. Her blue-gray skin was cut in many places. Green blood was coming from her wounds. Next to her was something smaller. It looked like a baby Zephyrian. The little one was making the crying sounds. Marcus knew what he was supposed to do. Military rules were clear. All Zephyrians were enemies. Soldiers were told to kill any aliens they found. No questions asked. No exceptions. But Marcus looked at the dying mother and her baby. The little one's skin had spots of light that blinked on and off. The lights were getting weaker. Marcus had never seen a Zephyrian baby before. It looked so small and helpless. The mother alien saw Marcus. Her eyes were big and dark. She tried to move but was too hurt. She made some sounds that Marcus did not understand. Then she touched a small device on her arm. Suddenly, Marcus could hear words in English. "Please," the alien mother said. Her voice was weak and strange. "My child. Help, my child." Marcus should have walked away. He should have called for backup. He should have followed orders. Instead, he took a step closer. The mother Zephyrian was dying. Marcus could see that clearly, but the baby was still alive. The little one's light spots were flickering like a candle in the wind. "Please," the mother said again. "You have children? You understand?" Marcus did not have children, but he understood what she meant. He understood love. He understood what a mother would do to save her child. The alien mother moved her hand slowly. She touched her fingers to her forehead. Then she reached toward Marcus. Without thinking, Marcus knelt down next to her. The alien mother touched his forehead with her fingers. Suddenly, Marcus felt warm. The alien's fingers had some kind of wet substance on them. It felt strange on his skin. The mother said words in her own language. She said them like they were important, like they meant something special. The lights on the mother's skin stopped flashing. She was dead. Marcus looked at the baby alien. It was looking back at him with big dark eyes. The little one reached out with tiny arms. Marcus knew he had to make a choice right now. He heard his team calling for him. They would be here soon. Marcus picked up the alien baby carefully. It was lighter than he expected. The baby's skin felt warm and soft. Marcus walked out of the crashed ship carrying the alien child. His team saw him and could not believe what they were seeing. "Sergeant, what are you doing?" asked Rodriguez. "We're taking this one back to base," Marcus said. But sir, the orders are to— I know what the orders are, Rodriguez, Marcus said firmly. But this is just a baby. The team looked uncomfortable. They knew Marcus was breaking the rules. But they also knew Marcus was a good leader. They trusted him. The trip back to base took 2 hours. Marcus carried the alien baby the whole way. The little one did not cry anymore. It seemed to feel safe in Marcus's arms. The light spots on its skin began to glow a little brighter. When they reached the base, there was trouble waiting for Marcus. Colonel Hayes was very angry when he saw what Marcus had brought back. "What is the meaning of this, Sergeant?" the colonel shouted. Marcus stood straight and looked ahead. "I found a wounded enemy child, sir. I made the decision to bring it back for questioning." "You know that's not protocol, Chen," Colonel Hayes said. "You were supposed to eliminate all enemy contacts." "Yes, sir, I know." Marcus knew he was in big trouble. Breaking military orders during wartime was serious. He could go to prison. He could be kicked out of the army. But when he looked down at the alien baby in his arms, he knew he had made the right choice. The baby's light spots pulsed gently. Marcus did not know it then, but those lights meant something important in Zephyrian culture. They meant the baby felt safe. They meant the baby trusted him. They meant Marcus was now family. 6 months had passed since Marcus brought the alien baby to the base. Many things had changed. Marcus was no longer a staff sergeant. Colonel Hayes had taken away his rank as punishment. Now, Marcus was just a regular soldier, doing guard duty. The alien baby was kept in the science section of the base. The scientists called it Subject Z-47, but Marcus called it Lux because of its glowing lights. The military doctors and alien experts studied Lux every day. They wanted to learn about Zephyrian biology. Marcus worked the night shift as a security guard. His job was to walk around the base and make sure everything was safe. During his rounds, he always stopped by the science lab, where Lux was kept. The first time Marcus saw Lux in the lab, he felt sad. The baby was in a clear box that looked like a fish tank. There were tubes and wires connected to the box. Machines beeped and made noise. Lux looked lonely and scared. Dr. Sarah Kim was the lead scientist studying Lux. She was a nice woman who actually cared about the alien baby. Most of the other scientists just saw Lux as a test subject. "The creature is very unusual, Doctor," Kim told Marcus one night. "Most alien babies die within a few weeks when they're separated from their families. But this one is different. It's actually getting stronger." Marcus looked at Lux through the clear box. The baby's light spots were dim, but they started glowing brighter when Lux saw Marcus. "It responds to you," Dr. Kim said with surprise. "Watch this." Dr. Kim walked close to the box. Lux's lights stayed dim. Then Marcus walked close. Immediately, Lux's lights became bright and beautiful. The lights made patterns like a slow dance. "I don't understand it," Dr. Kim said. "The baby only acts this way when you're here." Night after night, Marcus visited Lux during his guard rounds. He started talking to the baby, even though he thought Lux could not understand him. Marcus told Lux about his day. He told stories about Earth and his family back home. But something strange was happening. Marcus began to understand what Lux's light patterns meant. When the lights flashed fast, Lux was excited. When they pulsed slowly, Lux was calm and happy. When they were very dim, Lux was sad or scared. Marcus also noticed that Lux made small sounds. At first, Marcus thought they were just animal noises. But after listening carefully for weeks, Marcus realized the sounds were actually a kind of language. One night, Marcus tried something new. He touched his finger to the glass box and made a pattern of taps. Lux watched carefully. Then Lux made its lights flash in the same pattern. They were communicating. Dr. Kim was amazed when Marcus showed her what he had learned. "You've made more progress in understanding this creature than all our computers and tests," she said. Marcus spent more time each night with Lux. He learned that Zephyrians used both light patterns and chemical smells to talk to each other. Marcus could not make the lights or smells, but he could understand them. Lux was learning too. The baby began to understand some human words. When Marcus said, "Hello," Lux would make its lights flash in a welcoming pattern. When Marcus said goodbye, Lux's lights would dim with sadness. The relationship between Marcus and Lux grew stronger every day. Marcus felt like Lux was his child, and Lux acted like Marcus was its parent. When other people came near, Lux would hide. But when Marcus appeared, Lux would become excited and happy. Dr. Kim started letting Marcus spend more time with Lux. She could see that the alien baby needed Marcus to stay healthy and happy. "There's something special about your connection, Doctor," Kim told Marcus. "I think that ceremony the mother performed marked you somehow. In their culture, you might be considered family now." Marcus did not fully understand what Dr. Kim meant, but he knew he loved Lux like his own child. Then one night, everything changed. Marcus was doing his usual guard rounds when alarms started going off all over the base. Red lights flashed in the hallways. A loud voice came over the speakers. "All soldiers report to battle stations. Enemy ships detected. This is not a drill." Marcus ran to the science lab to check on Lux. Dr. Kim was there with 2 other scientists. They all looked scared. "What's happening?" "Zephyrian attack ships," Dr. Kim said. "At least 20 of them. They're not attacking random targets. They seem to be heading straight for our base." Marcus looked at Lux in the clear box. The baby's lights were flashing very fast. It was the pattern Marcus had learned meant extreme fear or distress. The attack began with bright flashes in the sky. Zephyrian ships fired energy weapons at the base defenses. The ground shook with each explosion. The lights in the lab flickered on and off. "We need to evacuate the lab," Dr. Kim said. "It's not safe here." But Marcus noticed something. Lux's light patterns had changed. The baby was not just showing fear anymore. Now the lights were making a complex pattern Marcus had never seen before. It looked almost like Lux was calling out to something. The Zephyrian ships focused their attack on the main buildings. But they were also sending small ships down to land on the base. Marcus realized this was not just an attack. It was a rescue mission. "They're coming for Lux," Marcus said. Dr. Kim looked shocked. "How do you know that?" "Look at the light patterns," Marcus said. "Lux is calling to them." The battle was fierce but short. The Zephyrian soldiers fought their way into the base with weapons Marcus had never seen before. They seemed to know exactly where they were going. When the alien soldiers reached the lab, they moved very carefully around Lux. One of them, who seemed to be the leader, looked at the baby with gentle eyes. Then the leader looked at Marcus. The alien leader touched a device on its arm and spoke in English. "You are the one who saved the child." "Yes," Marcus said. The leader made a sound that might have been respect or thanks. Then the aliens carefully took Lux out of the clear box. Lux's lights began flashing in the pattern Marcus knew meant joy and excitement. But when the aliens started to leave, Lux's lights changed. The baby was looking at Marcus and making the sounds that meant sadness and fear. The alien leader stopped. It looked at Marcus, then at Lux, then back at Marcus. The leader seemed to understand something important. As the Zephyrian soldiers left with Lux, the baby kept looking back at Marcus. Its lights were calling out, making the patterns that meant family and don't leave me. Marcus felt his heart breaking as he watched Lux being taken away. 3 months passed after the Zephyrian attack. Marcus tried to return to normal military life, but nothing felt the same. Every day he thought about Lux. He wondered if the alien baby was safe and happy. He worried that Lux might be sad without him. Marcus was eating breakfast in the base cafeteria when Lieutenant Torres came to find him. Torres looked confused and worried. Chen, you need to come with me right now, Torres said. Colonel Hayes wants to see you immediately. Marcus followed Torres to the colonel's office. When they walked in, Marcus saw that Colonel Hayes was not alone. There was a woman, in a fancy uniform, he did not recognize. She had many medals and looked very important. Chen, this is General Morrison from Earth Command, Colonel Hayes said. She has some unusual news for you. General Morrison looked at Marcus with curious eyes. Soldier, 3 days ago we received a communication from the Zephyrian government. They sent it directly to Earth Command. The message was specifically asking for you. Marcus felt confused. For me, ma'am? I don't understand. General Morrison held up a small device. This message came through official diplomatic channels. It's from someone called Matriarch Veltar of the Zephyrian Third Clutch. She wants to meet with you. That's impossible, Marcus said. Why would an alien leader want to meet with me? We don't know, General Morrison said. But this Matriarch Veltar claims you are bound by something she calls kinship obligations. She says you saved her granddaughter. Suddenly Marcus understood. Lux was this matriarch's granddaughter. The ceremony that Lux's mother had performed before she died must have meant something important. The matriarch is requesting a meeting under ancient Zephyrian laws, General Morrison continued. She wants to meet at the old trading station in neutral space, just you and her. Colonel Hayes looked angry. This has to be a trap, General. The aliens probably want to capture Chen for information about our base defenses. But Marcus felt something different. He remembered how gently the Zephyrian soldiers had treated Lux. He remembered the respect in the leader's eyes when they looked at him. I want to go, Marcus said. Everyone in the room looked at him with shock. Are you crazy, Chen? Colonel Hayes said. This is obviously an enemy trick. I don't think it is, Marcus said. I saved that alien child. Her mother did some kind of ceremony before she died. Maybe it really does mean something to them. Tried. Agrees, Marcus. General Morrison studied Marcus carefully. The diplomatic experts think this could be important. The Zephyrians have never requested a meeting before. This could be our chance to open peace talks. After many hours of discussion, they decided Marcus would go to the meeting. A small Earth ship would take him to the neutral trading station. If it was a trap, at least only one soldier would be lost. The trip to the trading station took 2 days. Marcus had never been in space before. Looking out at all, the stars made him feel very small. He was nervous about meeting with an alien leader, but he was also excited. Maybe he would see Lux again. The trading station was old and mostly empty. It was built by a race called the Travelers, who used it for buying and selling goods between different worlds. Now it was neutral territory where no one was allowed to fight. Marcus's ship docked at the station. He walked through the empty hallways wearing his dress uniform. His footsteps echoed in the quiet corridors. When Marcus reached the meeting room, he saw something that made him stop. There was a tall Zephyrian female waiting for him. She had silver-gray skin and wore beautiful robes covered in patterns that seemed to move. But next to her was Lux. The alien baby had grown bigger in the 3 months since Marcus last saw it. Lux looked healthy and happy. When Lux saw Marcus, its light patterns exploded with joy. The baby made excited sounds and reached out toward Marcus. Lux, Marcus said quietly. The matriarch watched this reunion with intelligent eyes. She touched a translation device and spoke in perfect English. You are Marcus Chen, she said. The one who saved my granddaughter. Yes, ma'am, Marcus said. I mean, yes, Your Highness. He did not know how to address an alien leader. You may call me Veltar, the matriarch said. We are family now. Marcus looked confused. Family? Veltar moved gracefully to a chair and sat down. Lux immediately ran to Marcus and hugged his leg. Marcus picked up the alien child, and Lux's lights pulsed with happiness. My daughter performed the third parent ceremony before she died, Veltar explained. She marked you with her bioessence and spoke the ancient words. In our culture, this makes you Lux's third parent. I don't understand, Marcus said. Third parent? Zephyrian children have 3 parents, Veltar said. The birth mother, the genetic father, and the third parent who is chosen by spiritual connection. You became Lux's third parent when my daughter marked you. Marcus held Lux close. The baby was making happy purring sounds. This means you are part of our family line. Veltar continued. You have all the rights and responsibilities of a Zephyrian parent. You are under our protection, and we are under yours. Veltar stood up and walked to Marcus. She took out a small container with glowing liquid inside. I offer you the mark of acceptance, she said. If you accept it, you will truly become part of our family. But you must understand what this means. Marcus looked down at Lux, then back at Veltar. What does it mean? Num. It means you will always be welcome among our people, Veltar said. It means we will protect you as we protect our own children. But it also means you have duties to our family. You must help us when we need help. You must consider our welfare as important as your own. Marcus thought about this carefully. He was a human soldier. These were supposed to be his enemies. But when he looked at Lux, he felt the same love he would feel for his own child. If I accept, Marcus said. What happens to Lux? Lux needs all 3 parents to grow healthy and strong, Veltar explained. Without regular contact with you, my granddaughter will become sick. The third parent bond is not just spiritual. It is biological. Lux's body needs your presence. Marcus understood now why Lux had survived in captivity when other alien babies died. Lux had been waiting for its third parent. I accept, Marcus said. Veltar smiled. It was the first time Marcus had seen a Zephyrian smile. And it was beautiful. She opened the container and touched her finger to the glowing liquid. Then she touched Marcus's forehead, just like Lux's mother had done. Marcus felt warm and tingly. His skin where Veltar touched him began to glow faintly. Now you are truly family, Veltar said. Now we must talk about ending this war. Marcus returned to Earth with news that shocked everyone. The Zephyrians wanted peace. They wanted to stop the war that had been going on for 3 years. But they would only talk to Marcus because he was now considered family. General Morrison called a meeting with all the top military leaders. Marcus sat at a big table with generals, admirals, and politicians from Earth. Everyone looked at the faint glow on his forehead, where Veltar had marked him. This is ridiculous, said Admiral Brooks. We're supposed to negotiate peace through one low-ranking soldier who thinks he's an alien's adopted son? It's not that simple, Marcus said. In their culture, family bonds are the most important thing. They trust me because I'm part of their family now. General Morrison studied the reports from the meeting. What exactly did the matriarch propose? She wants formal peace talks, Marcus said. She thinks this whole war started because of misunderstandings. She says both humans and Zephyrians value family above everything else. But we express it differently. Colonel Hayes, who had come to Earth for the meetings, shook his head. This has to be a trick. The aliens are using Chen's emotions against him. I don't think so, Marcus said. I've learned to read their light patterns. Veltar was telling the truth. The debates went on for days. Some leaders thought Marcus was being fooled. Others thought this might be their only chance for peace. The war was expensive, and many soldiers on both sides had died. Finally, they decided to try. Marcus would return to the neutral station with a small team of diplomats. If the peace talks failed, they could always go back to fighting. But Marcus learned something that worried him. Dr. Kim had studied the biological samples from Lux. She discovered that Zephyrian children needed regular contact with all their parents to stay healthy. Without Marcus, Lux would slowly get sick and die. The third parent bond creates a biological dependency. Dr. Kim explained. Lux needs to be near you at least once every few weeks, or its immune system will fail. This meant Marcus could not just be a translator for the peace talks. He would have to spend the rest of his life traveling between human and alien space to keep Lux healthy. Marcus did not mind this, but it made some people think he could not be trusted to represent human interests. The peace talks began 2 weeks later. Marcus met with Veltar and several other Zephyrian leaders at the trading station. The human team included General Morrison and 3 diplomats. At first, the talks were difficult. The two species had very different ways of thinking. Humans liked direct communication and clear rules. Zephyrians communicated through complex light patterns and chemical signals that had many layers of meaning. Marcus found himself translating not just languages, but entire ways of thinking. When the human diplomats talked about territorial boundaries, the Zephyrians heard nesting rights. When Zephyrians talked about family obligations, the humans heard military alliances. Slowly, Marcus helped both sides understand each other. He learned that the war had started because of a big misunderstanding. The Zephyrians had settled on several planets not to claim them, but because those planets were perfect places for their children to grow up. They thought they were just borrowing the space temporarily. The humans saw alien settlements and thought the Zephyrians were trying to take over human territory. When human military ships came to investigate, the Zephyrians thought they were being attacked and defended their children. Both sides were just trying to protect their families, Marcus explained to General Morrison during a break. Neither side wanted to start a war. As the peace talks continued, Marcus spent time with Lux every day. The alien child had grown and was now learning to walk on its long, thin legs. Lux could say a few words in both human English and Zephyrian light speech. Marcus taught Lux about human culture, and Lux taught Marcus more about Zephyrian customs. Marcus learned that Zephyrians lived in large family groups where everyone helped raise the children. They valued wisdom, art, and harmony with nature. The breakthrough in peace talks came when Marcus had an idea. Instead of arguing about who owned which planets, why not share them? Humans could live in the cities and industrial areas. Zephyrians could use the natural areas for their children's development. Both species could benefit from each other's knowledge. But not everyone wanted peace. Some human military leaders thought the war should continue until the aliens were completely defeated. Some Zephyrian families wanted revenge for relatives who had been killed. The real test came when a group of human extremists tried to kill Marcus. They believed he was a traitor who cared more about aliens than humans. The attack happened while Marcus was walking to a meeting with Veltar. 3 men with guns surrounded Marcus in the hallway. "You're not human anymore," one of them said. "You're an alien lover who betrays his own species." Before Marcus could react, Zephyrian guards appeared. These guards were supposed to protect their own leaders, but they threw themselves between Marcus and the guns. 2 of the alien guards were shot and badly wounded, protecting Marcus. This act of sacrifice amazed the human diplomats who saw it happen. The Zephyrian guards had risked their lives to save a human because they considered Marcus family. General Morrison visited the wounded guards in the medical bay. Through translators, she thanked them for protecting Marcus. One of the guards, whose name was Kethval, said something that surprised her. "Marcus is blood of our blood now," Kethval said. "We protect him as we protect our own children." Is this not what humans would do for family? General Morrison realized that the Zephyrian concept of family was not so different from human values. Both species would die to protect those they loved. The attempted assassination actually helped the peace process. It showed both sides that there were extremists who wanted to keep fighting, but it also showed that most people wanted peace. Marcus continued working as a translator and cultural bridge. The formal peace treaty was signed 6 months later at the same trading station where Marcus had first met Veltar. During the signing ceremony, Lux played with human and Zephyrian children together. Marcus watched the children laugh and play, and he knew this was what the future should look like. But Marcus also knew his life had changed forever. He was no longer just a human soldier. He was not just a Zephyrian family member either. He was something new, a bridge between two worlds. And with that role came great responsibility. 1 year after the peace treaty was signed, Marcus stood in the great ceremonial hall of the Zephyrian homeworld. Today was a special day. Lux was having its first light ceremony, the most important celebration in any young Zephyrian's life. Marcus wore formal robes that Veltar had given him. The robes were beautiful, with patterns that glowed softly in the dim light. On his forehead, the family mark that Veltar had given him now glowed with permanent light patterns. Marcus had learned that this meant he was truly accepted as family by the entire Zephyrian community. The ceremonial hall was filled with beings from both worlds. Human families sat next to Zephyrian clans. Children from both species played together, while their parents talked and laughed. This sight still amazed Marcus. A year ago, these two groups were trying to kill each other. Marcus was now the first human Zephyrian cultural ambassador. His job was to help families from both species who had been separated by the war. Many human children had been adopted by Zephyrian families who found them during battles. Some Zephyrian children had been rescued by human soldiers, like Marcus had rescued Lux. The work was not always easy, but it was important. Marcus spent half his time on Earth and half his time in Zephyrian space. He helped translate not just languages, but emotions and customs. He helped human parents understand why their Zephyrian adopted children needed certain foods and light patterns. He helped Zephyrian families understand why human children needed different kinds of play and learning. But today was not about work. Today was about Lux. Lux had grown into a healthy, intelligent child. It was taller now, with longer arms and legs. Its light patterns had become more complex as it learned to express complicated thoughts and feelings. Lux could speak both human English and Zephyrian light language perfectly. Most importantly, Lux was happy. The child spent time with its birth grandmother Veltar, learning traditional Zephyrian wisdom. Lux spent time with Marcus, learning about human culture and values. And Lux spent time with other children from both species, creating friendships that would last a lifetime. The first light ceremony began when Veltar walked to the center of the hall. She wore her most beautiful robes, covered in patterns that told the story of their family line. Other adult Zephyrians formed circles around her, their light patterns creating a slow, beautiful dance. Today we celebrate the first adult light patterns of Luxandra Chentar, Veltar announced. The name made Marcus smile. Lux had chosen to include both human and Zephyrian elements in its adult name. In Zephyrian culture, the first light ceremony was when young people showed they were ready to become adults. They had to demonstrate complex light patterns that told their life story. They had to show they understood their responsibilities to family and community. Lux walked to the center of the hall. The child's light patterns began slowly, showing the simple patterns of early life. Then the lights became more complex as Lux told its story. Marcus watched with pride as Lux's lights told about being born during the war. The patterns showed the crash that killed its birth mother. They showed Marcus finding and rescuing it. They showed the time in the human laboratory and the rescue by Zephyrian forces. But then Lux's story changed. The light patterns showed something beautiful, the coming together of two families. The lights showed Marcus and Veltar working together. They showed human and Zephyrian children playing together. They showed two species, learning to understand each other. Lux's light patterns became incredibly complex as the story reached the present time. The patterns showed gratitude to both families. They showed understanding of responsibility to both communities. They showed hope for a future where all children could grow up in peace. The ceremony reached its peak when Lux created light patterns that no one had ever seen before. They were a combination of traditional Zephyrian patterns and something new. Something that seemed to represent the harmony between two species. The hall was completely silent as everyone watched Lux's final light display. Then Veltar began to glow with approval patterns, and soon every Zephyrian in the hall joined in. The humans could not make light patterns, but they clapped and cheered. After the ceremony, there was a great feast. Marcus sat at the family table with Veltar and other members of their clan. Lux sat between Marcus and its grandmother, perfectly comfortable with both. "You have done well, third parent," Veltar said to Marcus. "Lux is strong and wise. Because of your guidance, Lux taught me as much as I taught it," Marcus replied. "Maybe more." During the feast, Dr. Kim approached Marcus. She had become the head of the new Interspecies Medical Center, where human and Zephyrian doctors worked together. "I have something for you," Dr. Kim said. She handed Marcus a small device that looked like a scanner. "What is it?" Marcus asked. "We've been studying the family bonding process, Doctor," Kim explained. "We found that the marking ceremony actually changes your biology. You're producing some of the same chemicals that Zephyrians use to bond with their children." Marcus looked at the device. "What does that mean?" "It means the bond is real, Doctor," Kim said. "Your body has adapted to help raise Zephyrian children. You're not just playing a role. You've actually become a biological third parent." This news amazed Marcus, but it also made perfect sense. He had always felt a strong connection to Lux and other Zephyrian children. Now, he understood why. As the evening continued, Marcus met many families who had been helped by the new peace between the species. He met Sarah Chen, a human woman whose son had been adopted by Zephyrians after his parents were killed in the war. The boy was healthy and happy, raised with love by his alien family. He met Korthvel, a Zephyrian whose daughter had been rescued by human soldiers. The daughter now went to school with human children and was learning both cultures. These families proved that love could cross any boundary. Children who might have grown up as enemies were now growing up as friends and siblings. Late in the evening, Marcus walked outside with Lux to look at the stars. The Zephyrian homeworld had 3 moons, and their light created beautiful patterns in the sky. "Marcus, father," Lux said, using the special title it had created for him. "Do you think there are other species out there among the stars?" Marcus looked up at the countless points of light. "I'm sure there are, Lux. Do you think some of them might be afraid of each other like humans and Zephyrians were?" Marcus nodded. "Probably. Fear often comes from not understanding each other." Lux's light patterns showed thoughtful consideration. "When I grow up, I want to help them understand each other. I want to help create more families like ours." Marcus put his arm around Lux and smiled. "I think that would be wonderful." As they stood there under the alien stars, Marcus thought about how much his life had changed. A year ago, he was a soldier fighting a war. Now, he was a father, a diplomat, and a bridge between worlds. The mark on his forehead glowed softly as Veltar joined them outside. She stood on Marcus's other side, and together, the 3 generations of their unusual family looked up at the stars. "The future belongs to children like Lux," Veltar said quietly. "Children who understand that family has no boundaries." Marcus nodded. He had learned that the strongest force in the universe was not weapons or technology. It was love. It was the willingness to sacrifice for others. It was the ability to see past differences and find common ground. Looking at Lux and Veltar, Marcus knew he had found his true purpose. He was no longer just human or just an adopted Zephyrian. He was something new, a guardian of peace, a protector of all children, and proof that any boundary could be crossed with enough love and understanding. The war was over. The new family had begun.